Hello, welcome to Taking Over the World with Ainz Al Ghul. Step 1, I don't know.
Of course, because one should never just make one plan, and not knowing symbolizes our lack of understanding. Praise the bones!
Praise the bones! I just finished all 4 seasons of Overlord in one day, and I have to say, I'm beginning to think that they're the bad guys. If your favorite side character in this entire anime was without a doubt Ainz, then be sure to subscribe to both my channels and join my Discord. Let me give you a satire synopsis of all 4 seasons of Overlord, which will contain spoilers. The first arc, which I've dubbed Trapped in a Simping Sim, begins with Momonga as a guildmaster of a game that is shutting down. He decides to stay in the game until it shuts down later that day. But I can only assume that the moment it shut down, Truck-kun flew into his window in real life, isekaiing him. But there's only one logical way to prove that he's stuck in this game.
By all accounts, it makes sense.
Now being surrounded by, loving NPCs, being in his own castle in a new world, he asks himself, should he even return to his world where he has no friends or family?
Yeah, I'm staying here.
On his way to Mardi Gras, Momonga decides to save a village to gain information about this new world that he was teleported to. He also decides to change his name to
Stupid microtransactions.
At this point, a great hero known as Momon appears, joining the Adventurers Guild with his partner Nabe. And I've seen some crazy theories on the internet saying that Momon is Ainz, but those are just dumb fan theories. I mean, here they are standing next to each other. Next, you guys are gonna try to convince me that Usopp is Sogeking. Momon gets a new mount and even makes new friends.
No, my friends! Well, more like my advertising crew.
After hugging it out with the girl who killed Momon's friends, the name Momon spreads throughout the land. If only somebody knew a resurrection spell for his friends. Meanwhile, one of Ainz's floor guardians, Shaltir, is on a quest to find strong people who could possibly be trapped in this world like Ainz. Which is when she runs into Brain. Yep, nobody strong was found here, but she was brainwashed by a mysterious group. While the brainwashing may be strong, it can be easily undone by an item that Ainz spent years rolling for. Well, that didn't work out so well. So, only one thing to do, kill her back to his side. But first, a power-up. After defeating her with the power of microtransactions, EA would be proud, they resurrect her. Now she must be punished for getting brainwashed, so she is forced to become a Shao Chair. Do you know what Season 1 was really missing though? Lizards! Which is why the name of this arc is the Lizard Love Story. Ainz sends a message to the village of Argonians saying,
Hey, just letting you know, gonna destroy you in a few days, have a good one.
Zaryusu decides to unite the Lizardmen tribe to fight against Ainz. So, he travels to speak to each of the tribe's elders. I'm just glad that my man has his priorities straight. After gathering their tribes together, they work together to defeat the enemy leader. Hey, why is there a second health bar?
Hey guys, you can work for me if you beat my shiny bug.
We are so screwed! After sending the leaders to all battle him, they all die. But Ainz is kind enough to bring Zaryusu back to life, so that the Lizardmen won't betray him, and they lived happily ever after. Oh no, who turned on Discovery Channel? Time for the Black Butler side quest arc. Seabass is a butler of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, who is sent on a mission to gather information. While on this mission, he adopts a human, trains Brain in the princess's bodyguard climb, and fights assassins. However, Solution snitched on Seabass about the girl he adopted, causing Ainz to question him.
Hey man, you gotta get rid of her.
But sire, she belongs in your kitchen.
She can stay.
Then they lived they lived very happily ever after, showing that age is just a... I'm not finishing that joke. While this is going on, Demiurge attacks Riestes for resources and to gain control of its underworld, but is stopped by the great hero Momon. Upon his return to Nazarick, he says that
世界征服の足がかりが得られる。
Ainz was not aware that that was his goal. Remember that little village that Ainz saved in the first season? Well, he decides to give it a little test, sending trolls to attack it. Which is why this arc is called Attack on Carne Asada. They win, end of arc. Wow, this is such a nice group, with great chemistry. Yeah, they're doomed. In the Tomb Raiders arc, this group is getting paid to explore the tombs of Nazarick, each with their own reasons why. Such as this girl, who wants the money to take her sisters away from her family. When Ainz hears their intentions, he'll let them go, I'm sure.
姉様、いつ帰ってくるんだっけ?
Poor children. Well, enjoy poverty. Ainz is just lucky that Momon decided not to go into the tomb. Ainz sends a message to the Baharut Empire, who sent the grave robbers in, saying that he wants them to write on the whiteboard 100 times that they're sorry. The Empire decides to form an alliance with Ainz, since they don't want to get boned. Tough crowd. Time for the final arc of Season 3, the
Oopsie whoopsie! Ooh, we made a fucky wucky!
arc, the Riestes Kingdom, which is the home to Klein, Brain, and the hero Gazef that Ainz saved in the first season, decide that Sans needs to be stopped. So first, they send an army after Carne Village, and that army literally gets CGI moded on. So they send their main army to challenge Ainz himself. He then uses their own CGI army to create a far stronger CGI army to kill them all. Luckily, they have the great hero Gazef here to stop them. Since Ainz respects Gazef more than I respect the animators of High School DxD, he asks him to become his subordinate. Instead, Gazef challenges Ainz to a duel despite knowing the outcome. On the bright side, Ainz got a new city after winning the war, but I do fear for the citizens' safety. That was until Momon appears, saying that he'll kill Ainz if he mistreats the citizens. What an all-around hero. Season 4 begins with an arc that concludes with Ainz getting the Baharut Empire as a vassal state through a string of coincidences. The next arc, however, is known as the Overlord of the Runes. Ainz is trying to adopt some local dwarves to create weapons with runes in them. To befriend them, he takes back to an old capital city by enslaving Smog and taming some wolves. The final arc, known as the
It's about sending a message.
arc, a noble from the Riestes Kingdom decided to steal some goods from Ainz. So Ainz decides that he should probably completely destroy the kingdom, which is absolutely insane. Could you imagine if a minor incident resulted in a war? Brain, Klein, and the princess decide to spend their final moments defending the kingdom. First, Brain has his final stand, and although he is defeated, he's respected so much that Bug Boy walks around his corpse. That leaves it all up to Klein, and there he goes. He's then brought back to life since the princess helped Ainz to destroy the kingdom from within, and now she gets to keep Klein for all of eternity. Did I mention she was a yandere earlier? I probably should have mentioned that. After her great success, like any princess, she burst into a Disney song. Now, let's talk about the characters in this anime, but not all of them, because there's just too many NPCs to talk about. Like Fat Kurapika over here. Man looks like he came straight out of Twinkies X Twinkies. He was low-key the GOAT though. Let's start off with the man who only rolls nat 20s in speech. Ainz. Ainz is a soft, insecure person on the inside that for years logged in to see Ligma 69 last online 12 years ago, but decided that he should roleplay a great leader since it's what his underlings expect. I mean, he even practices posing in the mirror. Man is the definition of fake it till you make it. Ainz now comes equipped with a post-nut clarity button, which suppresses his emotions. Yes, that does mean that he can't keep it up, if there was anything to keep up. Which may be a good thing considering how many times Albedo tries to assault him. The best part of his character is without a doubt how things just happen to make him look like a genius. Everybody thinks that Ainz is playing 5D chess. Meanwhile, he's just in the corner playing goldfish. Simply method acting tier. Now let's talk about the only character stronger than Ainz, Momon. I wake up every morning and look at a picture of Momon for inspiration. Ainz was lucky that Momon was saving kids from a burning orphanage when he was destroying the Riestes Kingdom. Solo's Ainz tier.
You're sitting there, you're watching an animated film, and you suddenly find yourself attracted to the animated figure. Isn't that terrible?
The girl in charge of Ainz' merchandising department, Albedo. To do this video, I had to rewatch all of Overlord, and I have to say, Albedo does not have as much screen time as I remember. She basically shows up in the first few episodes of each season, gets bonked, then does paperwork till the next season. But who is Albedo, and how did she get like this?
Albedo wants this boat.
That's right, to get a girl to fall deeply in love with you, all you have to do is just reprogram her. Easy. Best girl tier, Demiurge, the real leader of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, who doesn't even realize it. Due to a misunderstanding, Demiurge thought that Ainz wanted to take over the world. Since Ainz can't look like a faker, obviously that's what they're gonna do. But you have to put some respect on Demiurge's name, since he's doing experiments that would allow different races to breed. Do you know what that means? Demiurge is single-handedly creating cat girls. Truly the Albert Einstein of our time tier. It can't be a great isekai if it doesn't have a badass old man butler. Sebas is one of the few employees at the Great Tomb of Nazarick with a sense of personal justice. Too bad according to him, he only barely beats his enemies. Source: trust me, bro. Sebastian tier.
すごい気配を受けてゾクゾクしてしまって少し下着がまずいことになっておりんす。
Then everybody clapped. Shell tier, the second greatest chair in the anime, right under Kokaitis. Shell tier is a vampire who is created as the strongest floor boss, yet spends most of her time fighting over Ainz with Albedo. Me personally though, I'm a bigger fan of this form. Blah 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 tier. Inri, possibly the only girl in the show who isn't crazy. She was left with the task of being the village chief of Carne Village at such a young age, and thanks to Ainz, her village may be prone to random attacks for testing. Just like how people throw basketballs at you, saying, I was just testing your reaction speed. This, along with Mr. Hentai protagonist trying to get with her, should have been enough to make her go insane. Blame Ainz tier. There are only 4 humans that I respected in this show. Sid, Kurapika, the fingernail clipper, and the guy with the balls to challenge Momon. So forget all those cool guys. Let's talk about the princess's pet, Climb. He represents the regular man, showing how far a talentless human can go in this world, demonstrating no matter how hard you try in this world, you'll just end up a slave to a yandere in the end. Lucky man.
Mama warned me about women like you. I was hoping she was right.
Tier. Time for final thoughts and rating the anime. The world building and character emphasis in this anime is really what makes it one of my favorite isekais. Each character is interesting, and you can tell that it was really made by a D&D player. Most of these NPCs have crazy personalities because they were created by MMORPG players, like my favorite player.
Touch me, sama.
There were simply too many characters to talk about in one video, such as one of my personal favorites, Pandora's Actor, who is basically that old gamer tag that you had when you were 7 that you wish you could forget. You'll find yourself cheering for these characters who aren't on Ainz' team, just hoping that they survive. My only complaint is sometimes they just throw characters in, and you're just like, they look a little too happy. Yep, they're doomed. There's something about a plot with a super OP protagonist that really makes my neurons flare up. That doesn't change the fact that the plot is probably one of the weaker points of the anime. Many people complain about the Lizard arc, saying that it feels like a filler arc, and I agree and disagree at the same time. Even though it does add to the world building where we are in the story, if you simply remove the arc, nothing changes with the story overall. But at the same time, I watch One Piece filler arcs for fun, so I still enjoyed the Skyrim arc. Each season typically has a pretty good twist too, since they leave out little bits of information until the end. One part of the plot that makes a lot of sense is the fact that this game was shut down because the whole game was pay to win. It's crazy to see just how far the animation has improved from season 3 to season 4. It's almost like we had to wait 4 years for it. Jokes aside, the animation is just okay. The CGI could be terrible at times, and the animation is nothing to praise that heavily. The music, on the other hand, is some of the greatest in anime.
Which one is your favorite?
Come on, guys, that's like making me choose between my children. But it's Veracity by Mythenroid, and Hydra, also by Mythenroid in second. While my anime list gave this anime a score of around 7.9 out of 10, I'll be giving a score of 8.4 Wise Kings of the Forest out of 10. In conclusion, just like you,
子孫を作らねば生物として失格でござるがゆえに
hello, Isekai protagonist Lunar here. Click here to check out my second channel. Click here to check out the recommended video. and click here to check out my most recent video. I sure hope this isn't ReZero.